What is up, party people? These are my totally unsolicited ideas, which is kind of the reason why I started this channel. But since seeing all these amazing collections coming out and what's happening to the price of the original games, I just had a couple thoughts and I wanted to just throw this out into the universe and see what you guys thought. Because there are some games I just cannot bring myself to buy. Like there are some that I know are that are obscure, like the game Obscure, but that I'm never going to see in the wild. But there are some games that are not rare, they're just expensive. Like games like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which sold like hotcakes, like Pokemon games that are not rare at all, but seems to still be going up in price. And these are games that I just refuse to buy at that price point, which I kind of feel vindicated seeing that a lot of these collections and the remakes of really old, expensive, rare games are coming out. And I think that they're likely going to tank the value of the originals. It doesn't happen all the time, but I think it's happened enough that we can kind of see the pattern here. It's happened with Paper Mario, and it's going to happen to pretty much every game that's on the Marvel vs. Capcom collection, I think. Games like The Punisher that used to be over $500 are now steadily falling under $3. You can consistently find them on eBay for that price. And I still think that there's room to go lower. Especially because people that were interested in the game and not interested in the price now have more options. And with so much supply flooding the market, it's just, I think it's inevitable for the price to drop on these games. Instead of there being less than 30 to find on eBay, like let's take The Punisher. There's probably around 30 that you can buy on eBay, but now they're going to be mass produced in the hundreds of thousands, maybe in the millions. There's so much downward pressure, I still see the price falling. Which makes it a very peculiar time to be a collector, because you don't really know where to set your gaze. Like, do I want to start getting really old, retro, obscure games that people have never heard of and that have a very low chance of being remade? But then that even happens with games like Lollipop Chainsaw and Shadows of the Dam that just got remade. Like, those are two very, well, maybe not Lollipop Chainsaw so much, but Shadows of the Damned I feel like is a relatively rare, obscure game, and they came out with a remake for that. So we don't really know what's going to happen, or which games is going to be made, or how they're even choosing these games. Maybe they're all just watching a bunch of YouTube videos and getting there and picking what games they want to remake from the games that we're talking about the most. But it is a funny time to be a collector, because I do hear a lot of channels saying that there's no games out there, there's no deals to be had, or that it's impossible to start collecting now, or that it's way too expensive to collect right now. But honestly, I feel like a lot of that is just about perspective, because to me, I think it's a great time to start collecting, because I went through the pandemic burst where some of these games I thought would be absolutely unattainable for my entire life. And to now see that I'm going to be able to play The Punisher, I'm going to get Marvel vs. Capcom 2, like, it's a very good time to start collecting, I would think. But then if you're one of those people that have these games on the original, you're kind of like, even if you don't really care about value that much, it kind of has to sting a little bit knowing that your game is going to lose 50% of its value slowly and painfully. I think you just have to know what area is undervalued and when it's undervalued. Because this market turns on a dime, like it did when the PS3 market closure was announced and when the 360 market closure was announced. It was within days. It was in days that prices had shot up. But I think it's pretty cool that I'm going to be able to experience all these games that I never had a chance to before, and all for $40, which is kind of mind-blowing. I just don't know how it would feel to be a reseller. It's probably feel like you're getting backstabbed by these companies. But the relationship with these companies and the aftermarket was always very strange and murky. Because Marvel vs. Capcom is a game I'm definitely pre-ordering and grabbing first day, which means I'm never going to grab these games at these prices ever again. I don't want to say I don't want Marvel vs. Capcom 2 originally, like I do had it, but I'm never going to pay the exorbitant amounts of prices that they're going for now when I have the game, when I can get the game for so cheap on a modern platform. But these are just some of my thoughts. My PR team is actually on vacation, so I do read all my comments. I want to know what you guys think about. Is this a good time to start collecting, or is this a terrible time to get into collecting? And what you guys think of all these collections and how it's probably going to tank some of the prices of these games. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate your time, and I am way too old for this.